Hello and welcome to our new series, Past, Present and Future. In episode 1 we'll be talking about jumping puzzles. I'm Holly and I'm joined here today by Ashley.
Hi.
And yeah, we're going to just be talking about jumping puzzles starting with the past. So, there's not really much we can talk about with the past. They've just been out since the game came out pretty much.
In 2012, when the game was released, the jumping puzzles weren't that obvious to find.
No, they were very well hidden.
It was as if they built the maps and then just sort of added the jumping puzzles as an afterthought.
I used to just sort of be running around an area and then I just come into this little crevice and I'm like, oh wow, this looks really cool, and then I just end up doing a jumping puzzle for 5 hours. I know the one in the freaking Silvari starting area took me forever to do.
Morgan Spiral.
Yeah, Morgan Spiral.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. That one took me forever to do. The first time I ever did it, I must have fallen 500 times. It was not fun. They all had kind of basic interaction mechanics as well, so they didn't really have anything that you had to particularly collect or anything. They had a lot of button ones where it's activate this panel and the floor will spawn.
Yeah. Or similar to the one in Straits of Devastation, I think it is, or Malka's Leap, one of those two maps. You have to go around collecting Orion power sources, and each of them would power the chests at the end, depending on how many you collected.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that one was a pain in the ass. Then there wasn't really that many with mechanics though.
No, most of them were just you have to jump across this gap. That's it.
Yeah, and they weren't
just
exactly
jump across this gap, jump up this ledge.
I can't really think of any that went too high either. Not from the starting point to the end. I know the one there was the.
So there's one in
the sky.
Yeah, that's the one in the Asuran starting zone, Metrica province, where you have to go through a portal and then it just teleports you up into the sky. So it's not as if the jumping puzzle itself was vertical, because that jumping puzzle was still relatively flat.
Yeah. It was just very high up.
It was high up. Some of the only ones that I can think that make you go high up is Morgan Spiral.
Not exactly very high
and that's
up.
just the start.
Yeah,
the very start
rest
of the jumping puzzle makes you go vertical.
Can't really think of any older ones that. I mean, none of them even needed gliders, really. The old ones were very much, you can do them without the glider, because obviously gliders weren't around at the time.
Well, yeah, they were designed to be done without gliders.
Yeah,
but,
just jumping.
And they have changed it now so that a lot of the jumping puzzles still don't require them, so they disable gliders in some jumping puzzles.
Oh, right, yeah. I can see why. I mean...
But a lot of them you can just do it without.
Yeah. There's not that many. I mean, there was some that went quite high up and then went all the way underground, which was the really, really old Lion's Arch one before Lion's Arch got destroyed.
Yes.
That one went quite high up, and then you had to jump down a well as well on some of them and go really far under.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of them went down. There's a lot going down. There's not many going up.
Yeah, like the other one in Lion's Arch, the Pirates one. You start off by jumping down.
Was it the well, that one?
No.
There was another jumping down one?
In the new Lion's Arch.
Oh, the new Lion's Arch.
The Pirates Cove one.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where you have to go through this tunnel system to get to the Vista, and then from the Vista you jump straight down into a pool of water, but you probably die on the way down, because that's what usually happens.
It's with goggles. I was in a pig something. Okay, and then that moves us into pretty much the present ones, where we now have gliders.
Yep, gliders in the new maps. In the Heart of Thorns maps, there's not actually that many jumping puzzles in them. I remember there's one in Auric Basin, inside the egg chamber.
Yep.
Which, that one's very vertical. You have to go all the way round the egg chamber right to the top.
Yep. You use glider in that one, don't you, near the end?
You use glider. Yeah, you use gliders midway through as well, just to get to some jumps. There's even an adventure based around the jumping puzzle.
The current... I don't think you need one in the current Lion's Arch one. You know, the one that literally takes you around the entirety of Lion's Arch?
Oh, around the entire map.
I think that's doable without the glider,
because that was before Heart of Thorns was released, I believe. Maybe.
I think it might have been just before.
I don't quite remember.
I know that when it came out, though, you couldn't glide in Lion's Arch for the longest time.
Yeah, that's right.
So even if it was after Heart of Thorns, you wouldn't have been able to glide anyway.
Yeah, because they didn't release gliding in core maps.
I'm not sure if it'd even come in useful now, doing it. To be honest, a lot of it's doable without glider. It is doable without a glider,
Speaking of that one in Lion's Arch, the one that takes you around the entire map, they introduced checkpoints
Oh,
the
yeah.
game, so you have to get all of the checkpoints in order to open the
Like
final
the
chest.
Chalice of Tears.
Similar with the Chalice of Tears in the new map, Ember Bay, the massive volcano.
I feel like with the current jumping puzzles, they've definitely upped the difficulty though.
Yes.
Like, definitely upped the difficulty. It used to be fairly simple to do a lot of them. The only ones I could really think about that were difficult was stuff like Not So Secret.
Not So Sick. I love that.
That was
jumping puzzle.
probably like the hardest one though.
I had a love-hate relationship with it, man.
You used to just pop people off. I'm
Yeah.
sure you just probably log someone off at the top of it.
No, because I used my main character for it, because my main character was my only
Mesmer.
Mesmer, so I couldn't just stay there because then I'd nothing else to do, you know.
But yeah, checkpoints seem
But,
to be a massive thing.
Speaking of Not So Secret, that was also a newer jumping puzzle than the release ones because it was released in season 1. With the Etherblades and Scarlet. They had a few new mechanics in there, like the little pads that would make you jump up,
Higher,
and the little pads that would make you fly
Fly forwards. Oh my god, they were such a pain. The first time I did that. And then you get right to the end and they have like a little maze of them that you could traverse. And I was like, that's just not going to happen, is it? Because you jump on one, you'd hit the second one, and you'd fly off in the completely wrong direction. Like, okay, that just happened. That was not fun. But yeah, a lot of them go up now.
Yeah, a lot of them. So, for example, in
checkpoints.
the very newest map, the most recent map, Siren's Landing, there's a jumping puzzle called Abaddon's Arm, which you've not actually done
I
yet.
actually have to do this
You
one
haven't
yet.
done. But Abaddon's Arm, it's quite a simple jumping puzzle. There aren't many mechanics on it. It's just gliding, but it goes all the way up this spire, and you're standing on a lot of beams that are sticking out of the edge of the spire that are paper thin.
Great.
Yeah.
I think they're not as hidden now either, are they? They're pretty much in the open
Yeah,
world.
so I think what they do is they designate an entire area of the map to the jumping puzzle. I remember there was a dev blog speaking about how they made the jumping puzzle in Ember Bay, the Chalice of Tears. They were given an entire area. They wanted to work with it in such a way that they could make a challenging one, because that's what the environment was like. They wanted to integrate it into the environment. So they're given areas specifically for jumping puzzles, like Abaddon's Arm, like Chalice of Tears, whereas before it was just, let's just put it in this cave, like on the side, like the one in Wayfarer Foothills, the one with the Raven Shamans and the Bear Shamans.
Very much
It's
inside
just-
a cave.
It's just, we've made the map, let's just add a cave here with the jumping
It's the
puzzle
same
in
with
it.
one of the Savaris starting ones with the touch pads, you know, where you have to activate the machine to get the foot things, the blue, like,
Yes.
hexagonal
Yeah,
jumping
that's right.
one. Yeah. Like, a lot of them I feel were kind of like, after they made the game, they were like, oh, let's just add one here, maybe one here. There's a few that are really obvious, obviously, like Morgan Spiral, but I feel like a lot of the other ones were very well hidden, whereas the new ones are just, they are in the open world, and you can just end up finding yourself on one. I don't know if you were with me when I did the inside jumping puzzle with the really thin beams, and it ended up in a room where I just randomly started dancing and I got an achievement for it.
Yes, yeah, that's in Tangled Depths.
That was
in
like the most
the Heartthorns
random thing
maps.
to ever come across. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, I wonder if you can jump up this. And we must have spent like a good
We spent-
half an hour
yeah.
to an hour just trying to manage our way up. And then when we got to the end, I was like, oh, there's just a room.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I'll just start dancing. And then I got an achievement. And I was like,
And
okay,
the
you were
disco
supposed to dance.
started,
Yeah,
yeah.
everyone was like, what the fuck? It's
Yeah.
like, whoa, I made a disco. But yeah, so a lot of them are a lot more hidden than they used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that leads us on to the future, what we think is going to come in the game.
So with the coming of Path of Fire, the newest expansion that they've released for the Crystal Desert, it's been said that the maps are very wide, very big. They're huge maps. They're releasing 5 of them. So they're not like the Heart of Thorns maps, which are supposed to be small width-wise,
And just
to give you a
lots of
sense
layers.
of claustrophobia. Yeah, so make you feel claustrophobic. It's supposed to be very, very cramped together, but they're very tall, as a jungle would be.
Well, there's different tiers, isn't there? To
Yeah,
the Heart of Thorns
so
ones?
with the Crystal Desert, I think the jumping puzzles might go back to being very horizontal.
Instead of vertical.
There'll still be vertical elements in it because of the mounts.
I'm expecting them to be very hard.
Very
like,
difficult, yeah.
I'm expecting to shed more tears in this than I did in the Chalice of Bloody Tears.
Oh, I
so...
don't know that one. Right
It
at the
was-
end when
Oh!
you slipped.
I could make it all the way to the end of Chalice of Tears and then I just fall
Yeah.
all the way back.
So speaking of mounts, there's 4 new mounts that they're introducing into the game. If you're not aware of them, there's the Raptor, the Springer, the Skimmer, and the Jackal. Each of them have their own little spacebar ability instead of jumping normally. The Raptor has the ability to jump over great distances, horizontal distances, which would make jumping puzzles quite interesting because
I feel like I'm gonna like mess it up, and I feel like it's gonna
Yes.
be quite hard to see where the jumping puzzle is if there's this massive gap.
yeah,
I mean, it
but
depends how
I guess
far
that makes
it
the
can
jumping
jump.
puzzle more interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's gonna be like jump from point A to point B, like
Yeah.
usual, but it's gonna be a bigger gap, and I'm gonna be like, can it really make that jump? I'm not
I think
so
it
sure.
will require a lot of
practice.
practice because the Raptor's distance that it jumps is based on how long you hold the spacebar down for. So the longer you hold it down, the further it jumps.
Great.
So you need to do a bit of practicing with distances there.
The Springer, the second one, is a little rabbit. It's so cute, and is it vertical?
It's
jumping?
vertical, yep.
Yep. So
They
Springer
hold
does
down the
vertical
spacebar.
jumps.
The longer they hold down the spacebar, the higher they jump. So I guess that's another one of those moments where you're just looking around going, where on earth am I supposed to
Yeah,
jump?
you're
When
not
there's a
looking up.
platform directly above you that you're
Yeah.
supposed to land on.
And then the Skimmer. I don't think that one's going to be used so much
In
as
jumping puzzles?
for jumping
No,
puzzles.
I don't think so. It'd be more for map exploration, I think.
They
the
can't
Skimmer.
fly. They just sort of hover.
They
so
hover
don't-
slightly above the ground, and that includes water and there's quicksand which they're adding, or sulfur.
Yeah, I can't see that one being
Um,
used. The Jackal maybe.
Unless the skimmer's used to find the jumping puzzle in the first
Ah,
place.
yeah, that could also be a thing.
So you can only get to the jumping puzzle if you use the skimmer.
Yeah, that could also be implemented. And then there's the Jackal, which I don't think will be used in
I'm not
jumping
too sure.
puzzles. I feel like he's going to be quite an end tier mount to be getting anyway.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't think
the jackal has the ability to teleport short distances. They blink from one place to another.
I don't think the devs would purposely keep you out of a jumping puzzle. Like, I don't think they really did it in this one unless you didn't have gliding, and
But-
by that point it was quite late on for Chalice of Tears anyway.
In order to play the Season 3 maps, you have to have gone through the Heart of Thorn story, and the Heart of Thorn story requires you to get
have gliding, yeah.
You have to get gliding.
Like, I think
So-
if they were going to do that, they'd probably do that for the mounts, where you have to,
yeah,
before
so
you get to that point, you should have already
you
got
have
the mount.
to have the mount.
So, but I don't think they'll be purposely blocking people out of, like, starter jumping puzzles.
No. Yeah. Um,
But I think that's all I can really think of, really. Just, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I am, yes.
I like doing jumping puzzles anyway, so I need to do that. Abaddon's Arm, is it?
Yes, Abaddon's Arm.
I need to do
That's
that.
also one thing that I like about the new jumping puzzles is that they're quite lore-based. Although it might not seem it. Chalice of Tears is a massive volcano.
Yeah.
So it fits the environment. Abaddon's Arm is a tower that has a ship at the top of it. So it's obviously one of the highest points in ore. It really shows you how deep ore sank because there's a ship impaled at the top of this tower and there's no other way that it could get up there except
by
if
being
that tower was underwater. And for that tower to be underwater, ore must have sank really, really far. So with the Crystal Desert, lore-based, there's pyramids in the new maps. We could have jumping puzzles based around the pyramids. There's also, if you look at the world map, there's the I can't remember what it's called. There's a portal to the dimension of I can't remember what this dimension's called, but it's where Abaddon lived, where he was exiled to. A massive portal where Glint died.
So I'm looking forward to it. I love the lore in the game, so knowing when things are linked is also always like a really good thing, I guess. So yeah, I'm excited to see where they're going to take it.
That's what it was. The Realm of Torment. Yeah, Abaddon was exiled to the Realm of Torment. So they could introduce the Realm of Torment to us. It was in Guild Wars 1. They could show us it again in Guild Wars 2. And they could put a jumping puzzle in there somewhere. Who knows?
That'd be nice. But yeah, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do, and I'm excited to see what the devs are gonna like make us do again, like sort of put us through. I'm gonna shed probably lots of tears of frustration, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for tuning into the part 1 of our past, present and future. We're planning to do a few more videos, maybe on different aspects of the game.
So I think we're thinking of doing world bosses,
World
how
bosses.
they've changed over the years.
And maybe map design.
Map design as well, which we've covered a bit in this.
Yeah, a little bit in
but
this.
We'll go into
a bit more detail onto it.
In that video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.